Everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Limitless Leadership Podcast. I got a friend of mine on the show who I've been waiting to be on the Limitless Leadership Podcast for a minute. By the way, if you're listening, feel free to watch this episode. Go to YouTube at The Bearded Leader so you can watch this episode and see how amazing my guest's mustache is. By the way, he uses...
I can't take credit, okay?
Well...
This is your guy's mustache.
But it's your facial hair, and you just use the Bearded Brotherhood's products, which we appreciate your support in that. But our guest today is Kent Bullard with the Institute. Kent, what is your title with the Institute?
COO.
COO. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Kent is COO of the Institute, and big things are in store for Mr. Kent Bullard, and we're going to talk about that on the show today. But before we do, go ahead and share with the audience, Kent, who you are, what you do, and how you do it.
Leading a shop can be isolating, especially when you're trying to grow and still take care of your people. Tectonic 2026 brings together shop teams who care about the same things you hear on this podcast: coaching, accountability, training, and building leaders at every level. Expect hands-on workshops, role-based sessions, and honest conversations you can take back to the shop on Monday. Tectonic is happening April 9th through the 11th in Houston, Texas. Tickets are on sale now, and Limitless Leadership Podcast listeners can get $500 off standard pricing with code LIMITLESS500. Go to techmetric.com/tectonic. That's TEKTONIC, or use the link in the show notes.
Well, my name is Kent. I'm a minimalist, gamer, family guy. I've been working in this industry for about 13 years. Never worked in a shop, but I've worked with hundreds of shops over the years, and had the blessing to work with some of the best coaches, consultants, and instructors in this industry. So that I can help people run meaningful and fulfilling businesses.
And you do a great job of it, man. I really admire and respect the work that you do and how you do it. As I've gotten to know you over the last year or so, you and I keep on connecting at different conferences, and we keep chatting, and I'm just more and more impressed with Kent Bullard, and so I'm excited that you're on the show. Let's talk about what the Institute is. Let's talk about how the Institute operates and how they help make an impact across this wonderful industry that we're in.
Yeah. Let me keep it short. The Institute, we're a consultancy and coaching training company just like you guys. And one of the things that we've really tried to focus on, at least in recent years, is over the years we've seen a lot of these consultancies look at, hey, we work with the best shops, and we were scratching our heads. I'm like, who's working with the rest? And so we kind of made a pivot to try to look at, where people are at so we can bring them up, raise their shop. Because if we can do that for the majority, that's going to raise the industry. So that's really our biggest mission is if we can improve your business, it impacts the lives of the team that you have, the clients that you serve. You become pillars in your communities. You start to give back and contribute. And if you can do that for just one shop, it starts kind of bringing that value up for everybody.
I love that you're sharing the impact of coaching extends beyond the shop. You guys, your slogan or your tagline, help me out, better business,
better life, better industry.
I mean, and how incredible is that? As a coach myself, I see how rewarding it is to be in this amazing industry, in the profession that you and I both are in as coaches, but it extends beyond professional growth. It extends beyond the shop. It goes into the homes. It improves marriages. It improves lives. It improves relationships and our ability to communicate with those that we love, serve, and lead. And it's just an incredibly rewarding thing that we get to do. And I'll ask you, you've been in the industry, you said, for 13 years. Speak to the audience about what got you in the industry, what the last 13 years have looked like with your own growth journey.
So, I never really had any clear direction in my youth. I was pretty bad at school. Even was flunking out of college. I was doing technical support for Verizon Fios, and my dad was, starting to scale he was an independent consultant at the time, and he wanted to scale up, and he said, hey, I need a secretary. And I said, yep, anything is better than what I'm doing right now. So you name it, I'm there. And it wasn't until after I left college that I realized I wasn't stupid. And I just needed problems that I could see and feel and struggle against. And it was kind of through that. Plus, I was having a kid at the time. I was 19 and needed to get my poop to group, as Jimmy Lee would say.
There you go.
And it was good for me to find purpose in that, as somebody who'd struggled with figuring out what I should do with my life if I'm going to be here, a way that I can contribute meaningfully and have that fulfillment. And it wasn't until a few years in that I got to see the transformation that we had with our clients and go, oh my gosh, nobody really gets an opportunity like this that I'm in. And I need to be aware of that. And I need to give it the respect it's due.
Yeah.
And so I just started learning as much as I could. And I served, I'm so happy. You saw my team walking around here.
Yeah.
I'm so happy and blessed that I've been able to bring the team together that I have, because I used to do every single position. So when we were filming content, that was me. When we were editing content, that was me. The music for the content, that was me. I did our marketing. I started coordinating our content, like organizing the years of content my dad had and tried to work on all of these different systems, sales, all of it.
Yeah.
All the back end operations. Anyway, list goes on. But I think the value there is that I've been able to see how my part in growing and expanding that, I've learned all the lessons, and because I've made all the mistakes in every single area.
That's how we learn.
And at the same time, we also got to look at how we improve, how we serve our clients and their businesses.
Right.
And so it's not even just ours, but I got to look at those examples, apply them internally, and then at the same time, I'm creating an opportunity for those that are working with us to learn and grow just like I was.
It's incredible what a perspective shift can do for us when we start viewing things differently, we start doing things differently. You shared that when you got out of college, you realized that you weren't stupid. And I know you're saying that kind of in jest, but the reality is a lot of us put labels on ourselves. We think something that's not true. And one of the greatest mistakes any of us can make is assuming all of our thoughts are actually true. And what we know is that we have limiting beliefs. Actually, I shouldn't say what we know.
Everybody has limiting beliefs.
That's right, but the problem is sometimes we don't know that. We don't know that there are limiting beliefs.
We don't have an acknowledgement. We don't. And here's the thing, you know, since you invited me on here, I've been really kind of reflecting on my thoughts on leadership, on my thoughts on management, both what I'm focused on for me as a leader and what I've gained over the years. Because, dude, I mean, years. I got paid to get the education that I've gotten through some of the most incredibly talented, smart, experienced people.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I give that enough, respect and courtesy. But it's just, if you don't have somebody who can speak into you the opportunity, if you don't have somebody who actually tells you that you have a potential and that you have something beyond where you're at now and that you can do it, it does. You're stuck. And being challenged constantly and having people come around you and support you just bolsters you.
Four powerful words that every person should hear multiple times in their lifetime. Sadly, some people don't hear it at all, is I believe in you. And sometimes all it takes is one person to say, Kent, I believe in you. Because sometimes we don't believe in ourselves, but if one person can see something that we don't, it suddenly starts changing our mindset. Kent, I'll ask you, over the years, you've been able to go through things and grow through things, specifically from a mindset shift, a mindset perspective. Can you share what your journey has looked like, thinking something, believing something, knowing that it wasn't true, to where you're at now?
So I talk about this openly, and I know it's a very difficult subject for some people, but, when I was about 13, 14, I was in a very dark place, highly depressed, anxiety fueled, and I had a really poor self-image, and I had 2 attempts on my life because I didn't see a purpose or a point other than just existence was painful. And the second time I was sitting there and I thought to myself, well, if I do this again and I mess up, I might not be successful and I could even severely hurt the life that I have and it could be worse.
Yeah.
So I might as well just give it a go and see what I could do to make it less painful. And that thought of, I just want it to be less painful I just want it to be comfortable, turned into, I think there's more for me here, turned into what else can I do, turned into who else can I help? And I mean, I've gone through a lot. When I was 19, I ended up having my first son. I dated his mother in high school, and we met back up in college, and she was about 2 months pregnant when we got together again. And I took him on, and about a year and a half in, she decided to pursue some extracurricular activities and went off the deep end, and she disappeared. And I went to court, got custody of him, and there's that. to growing this company where, we acquired Arlo Training and having to handle merging the companies because it wasn't about, acquisition, takeover. There's a lot of talent over there. And now how do we utilize that to now what we're doing today with expanding our programs and bringing new coaches in. And it's just like, there's so much going on. And I don't think I could do any of this without the people around me. When you talk about leadership isn't you're the guy on top, and it never should be. And I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I was in my youth, I was going on a youth trip backpacking, and mind you, I was this weight back then. And I told them I'm probably not going to make it, and they said, no, you're going to come. You're going to come. But it was incredibly painful, difficult, and about 3 miles before we ended, it was just me and one of the other youth leaders there, and they were really upset that I wasn't pulling my weight or couldn't go fast enough, couldn't carry my bag. I mean, I was at my limit, and I was at my limit for a long time. And he just said, you know what? Just meet us at the cars. And so he left me, a very young man, to hike in the wilderness until I met the cars. And by the way, there was only one car left. My mother was upset, right, for obvious reasons. And I say that to fast forward. So Aaron Woods, a dear friend of mine, good coach, he invited and he challenged me to climb Ben Lomond, which is in Utah, right outside of our headquarters doors. And he points up there and he goes, "We're going to climb that, and then nobody can take that from you." So
you're likely immediately thinking back to that day.
Oh yeah,
right?
I said, "I don't know if I could do this," and he goes, "You're going to do it because we do hard things." I said, "Okay."
Powerful.
And so I trained, didn't train enough, dieted, got ready for it, and we got to go with some of our managers in our manager program, Tyler and Jared. Just phenomenal people, okay? And so we climb, and about an hour before we hit the summit, I was gassed. Didn't even make it to the top, and I was gassed.
Yeah.
I started, getting seized up and all this. And all they would do is just speak to that, "I believe in you. You're capable of this. How incredible how hard you're pushing," okay? And I'm like, these guys believe in me. I can't stop. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I brought a chair with me, those backpacking chairs.
Yeah.
I flipped it out on top of the mountain because I was like, I did it. And they're like, "Okay, now we got to climb down."
Yeah.
It was one of the single hardest things I've ever done. By the end of it, I had dislocated my hip, worn all the skin off my feet, and I didn't even notice that until the end. But as I'm going down, these guys were nothing but supportive. They wouldn't go without me. They said, "You're going to lead us out of here." And I'm weeping on the mountain because I never felt that I deserved that kind of support from these wonderful people.
Yeah.
But thank God that I'm around such inspiring and uplifting people. And again, that thought, these people believe in me. I can't let them down. And we made it down the mountain.
There is so much power in having someone believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. This is the power of coaching as well. But before we get into more coaching discussion, I want to share first and foremost, Kent, thank you for sharing all that. I know that I went kind of on a tangent, but no apologies necessary. Like what you began with can be challenging for some difficult for some to share, perhaps. But you recognize the platform that you have, and what I mean by that is you have a story, and you can't have a testimony without a test or a message without a mess. And you have a testimony. You have a powerful story, and I'll just go ahead and say it. This is the accountability that I'm going to give you that you're not asking for, because off camera, a couple weeks ago, you and I talked, and we talked about the books that each of us are writing. You talked about a book.
Yes, sir.
And so now that I'm talking about the book that you're writing, you got to finish this book.
I know. Thank you for the accountability.
Yeah. All right, folks. As you know, great leadership isn't about doing everything the best. It's actually about having the right partners in your corner to build your shop's success. It's about putting the right team in place. It's about choosing the right vendors to make you a pro, making pro moves. And when I think about the pros, I think about shop marketing pros. The know, like, and trust factor, that's a real thing. And Shop Marketing Pros understands that. That's why I want to recommend Shop Marketing Pros to become your marketing partner in your shop. They get to know, like, and trust you and your business to then help your audience get to know, like, and trust you too, and bring your shop to the next level. So when I talk about making pro moves, this is the kind of move I'm talking about. This is the kind of standard-setting partnership that's going to elevate your shop. So if you're ready to become a pro in your shop, visit shopmarketingpros.com and partner with the best.
This episode is brought to you by Limitless Leadership, because great teams don't happen by accident, they're led on purpose. If you're tired of wearing all the hats, putting out fires, and wondering why your team won't step up, Limitless Leadership is for you. They help leaders transition from player to coach, who develop people and multiply impact through in-person or online leadership training like the Limitless Leadership Blueprint or their Roots to Results coaching method. Their services are designed to help you tap into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results and help you create safety and trust in order to provide clarity and direction. So if you're ready to stop managing chaos and start leading with purpose, head to limitlessleadership.co to book a complimentary discovery call today.
Because here's the thing, Kent, I'm not going to glaze over this, man. You have a powerful story that deserves to be shared. And there are people out there who also have a powerful story, but they're silencing their own voice right now. They're limiting their own opportunities to impact and make a difference.
I think people, when they look online, when they look at their heroes, when they look at the people that inspire them, and like, I wish I was them, they don't realize that those people had the same mess that you do.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be more authentic expression of the challenges and the pain that we go through. Mm-hmm. So for a long time, I had this mantra that, the purpose of life is to suffer. Because without the juxtaposition of the things you overcome, right? The suffering makes that more important, more valuable. You're here to be tested, to be challenged, to grow.
Okay.
And if you don't have that suffering or the trials and challenges, then you have nothing to grow with.
Okay.
And so you have to kind of have that juxtaposition. And now it's more so, what's the next challenge? What's the next thing I'm going to suffer through to be more resilient, to be better, more capable, right? I had to reframe the experiences in my life to something that would be useful.
So I'm actually going to challenge that thought, because you said, what do I have to suffer through to be more resilient, to be more capable? I would challenge you and say your purpose is to prove resilience and prove capability.
Right.
And the journey there requires some failures, some mistakes, some suffering, right? Some losses, perhaps.
And let me reframe that, because for me, it really is, because I remember we were having this conversation about, the past 2 years have been very challenging. Mm-hmm. We look back and we're like, man, it's really good to be here, or we were in this spot and we didn't know if we were going to make it through it. And I was just like, you know what? This is the pain that we get to compare against our success later.
Yeah.
To say we overcame that. And that's something you can use to fuel where you're going. But at the same time, if you only succeed, if you only get things that are handed to you, if you only do the things that are comfortable and easy, then you don't get to grow as a person.
Yeah.
So you have to have those things. You have to have the challenge.
I like that you referenced earlier about how, we see our heroes, we see these people who are doing great things, and we think, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could have that life. I wish, X, Y, and Z. But to your point, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the early mornings, the late nights, the journey to achieve success.
It's never pretty.
It's never perfect. It's not often pretty. It's always behind closed doors. You don't see that. You see success, and the problem is comparison is the thief of joy, and we don't realize all of the work that gets us that it takes to get there. What's funny, Kent, is just being here at the. So I'm not sure. I can't remember if I already shared this, but we're at the 2025 Apex show in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're doing this episode live in person, and the amount of people who have come up and said something along the lines of, "Man, you've like blown up. Like you've like all this. Like I look up and all of a sudden you're just kind of on the map." And what I want to say, I'm flattered.
You're like, no, it's been years.
I mean, it's like, are you saying? Because I'll say, if that's true, then it's taken me 11 years to become an overnight success.
That's how it happens.
And that's the thing. It's like for over a decade, I've been grinding and still have a long way to go and a long way to grow. So I'm certainly flattered and humbled by the comments and the feedback, but it's a reminder, like, Josh, you're not done. Like, we got to keep going. We got to keep growing. There's so much more that God has called you for that's greater than me. It's greater than Limitless Leadership. Quite frankly, Kent, it's greater than this industry. And that's why I love the conversations that you and I have been able to have, because it's never about competition. It's always about collaboration. It's always about...
There's way too many problems in the world.
Yeah.
Okay? There's way too many problems. And you have to have people around you that'll help push you and affirm you and rebuild you. I mean, there's the only reason I'm here is because of my wife Rachel. She is just incredible, and I don't know that I would have been able to accomplish anything if not for her.
I can say the exact same thing about Janvier. Yep.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's. I think that, and I'm getting emotional because I look back, and we talk about leadership, and it's the people. It's how can we create the space for others to pour into you. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's creating those spaces, because being able to give to somebody is a gift. And for a long time, I never took anything from others because I didn't feel worthy of it. But I didn't realize I was robbing others of that blessing, And at the same time, now I'm looking to how do I connect these? How do I give them more space and opportunity so that they can grow and develop? And it's not about me. It's never about me. And it can't be.
If someone is listening or watching this episode and they too feel these feelings of I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving of help, I'm not deserving of receiving, what advice would you give to someone who might be experiencing those thoughts right now?
It takes practice. I still work on it every day. I get to do this with my kids in the morning. So we go through regular affirmations. Mm-hmm. So we kind of go through, who are you? I'm a Bullard. Okay. One, that means we're on a team, right? We're together. I'm calm, meaning that whatever life's going to throw at me, I'm in control of my thoughts, actions, and emotions.
Good. Yep.
I am capable, meaning that I've got everything I need to do what's in front of me. I'm confident, meaning I know what my values are, what my characters are, regardless of who's going to say what about me. Yeah. I'm confident in who I am. I'm kind, meaning that I leave people better than I found them. And the last is I'm loved. Okay. And those things, and not to knock my dad or my parents, they were there, but it was, my dad was working very hard to support us, and he really worked very, very hard to keep us afloat in my early days. Now I'm at a point where I just want to make sure my kids, if I'm ever not there, they've got what they need. And it's the same thing for everyone else out there, that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be not good at something.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because the failures, like my whole career has been failing up.
Yeah, that's good.
I've made so many mistakes, and it's only through those mistakes that you get the wisdom and the experience necessary to pursue the more challenging things and to provide the opportunities for others.
I like that you talked about how, if you see anyone who's successful in anything, rest assured that they have failed multiple times in order to get there. And the reality, I was going to say the problem, but I'll just say the reality of failure that a lot of folks struggle with is, when I fail at something, that makes me a failure. If I lose, that makes me a loser. These are, by the way, our limiting beliefs, because these are not true at all. And unfortunately, we allow these actions to become our identities. And we don't take action because we are afraid of failure. And fear is simply false evidence appearing real. If I believe that I'm going to fail, I'll find evidence that supports that I'll fail. But if I do fail, I'm not a failure. I'm learning. I'm growing.
It's not about I'm afraid I'm going to fail. It's I know I'm going to fail.
Preach. I love that.
And that's part of it. And trying to shift that mental perspective. I still struggle with it. Okay. There's things that I am still struggling at today. I'm not perfect, and I never will be, but there's progress being made, and it takes practice to make it happen, and thoughtful practice and intentional practice, and make the space for that. Okay. It's sometimes we're bombarded with all of these thoughts of I'm not doing things the right way, or I'm letting my team down, or what have you. You need to separate yourself from that and acknowledge, one, how far you've come, and two, what are the thoughts that are preventing me from taking action and doing the right things.
That's great.
And you could say, is this thought serving me or my team?
Yeah, that's good.
Does this thought serve others? And then just practice the reframing.
One of your intentional practices you already shared is affirmations, daily affirmations.
Yep.
And I want to go back and highlight and honor you for a second, Kent, because you didn't say that your affirmations are, today I'm going to be kind, or I want to be competent, or I'm seeking confidence. You said I am these things, right? There's power in that. Being able to say I'm capable, I'm competent, I'm confident, and we're you can call it manifestation, you can call it speaking truth into existence, whatever you want to call it.
I used to think that stuff was super fluffy. I mean, I was a cynic, right? I'm like, no way, But the more that you practice those thoughts, the more you can kind of intercept them and reframe them or reattribute them.
Yeah.
And it's again, like I said, it takes practice.
Well, and reframing, I mean, you're talking about reframing and you're really shifting your perspective, changing the paradigm, which is huge. Kent, you've already shared a lot about what leadership is, but if I were going to ask you just in a more definitive answer, call it a few sentences or a paragraph, if I said, Kent, what does leadership mean to you? How would you answer that question?
I knew you were going to ask this question, and I've thought so much about this. I think it's not just about serving others, because that's a big part of it. Selflessness has to be a part of it. And you also have to speak into others the potential you see in them and the belief that you have that they can achieve it.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's
one of the things I like to share with prospective clients or existing clients of Limitless Leadership is that we get to tap into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results. So it truly is about tapping into something that people don't see. Like, we all have blind spots. And if you're listening or watching thinking, Josh, you don't know me, I don't have a blind spot, that's a blind spot. We all have blind spots. And when we get to tap into unrecognized potential, blinding potential, and suddenly we start seeing things differently, we view things differently, now we do things differently, this is why coaching extends beyond the workplace. Your life can change through coaching. I'll ask you, if I'm a prospective client of the Institute, what does coaching look like? What does training look like? I know you guys have the Leadership Intensive by our friend Michael Smith. There's great coaches within your organization. If I'm a prospective client of the Institute, what could I expect? What can I get from the Institute?
one of the things that we really wanted to focus on was to create competence and independence.
Okay.
Like, you shouldn't be coming into one of our programs and being there forever. Because if you're there, then we're not serving you in your best light.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's about where are you now and where do you want to go? Is it that you want to scale the shop that you have so that you can give it to your kids? Is it that you want to grow so that you can be a bigger impact in your communities, so you have multiple locations and maybe eventually, again, provide the paths or the careers for those that you put in place, the people that you mentored and you grew, or maybe you're at a point where you're trying to just make sure that the business is going to persist as you retire. And whether you're a smaller location or you're already up at that level, we looked at every single stage and looked at what are the key things they need to do to transition to the next thing, the next story, the next level. Okay. And it's not about here's a cookie cutter solution for you, because everybody has so many nuances to their business. Even if you're the same size, shape, whatever, you've got a team that has different experiences, biases, knowledge gaps, personalities that you all have to manage, and that gets very, very complicated. So we try to meet you where you're at and help you grow and build the legacy that you want to leave.
That's awesome. So what I'm hearing you say is there is an end in mind. We're going to have a discovery call. We're going to ask a lot of questions. We're going to learn about who you are, what you're trying to achieve, what we can help you with, and then we're going to get you from point A to point B. And when we get to point B, if all goes well, the idea is we're going to say, hey,
we're going to push you, challenge you to go to the next level.
Yeah. I mean, so you know what's funny, Kent? So you know my wife, Jean-Vier.
Yeah.
She and I met on a dating app called Hinge. And I'm not sure if their slogan is still the same, but it used to be the app designed to be deleted, because you meet somebody and hopefully that somebody is your forever somebody, and then you delete the app.
Right.
And it sounds like the Institute is the coaching company designed to be deleted, right?
Exactly.
I mean, maybe I'm, and you hear the jest in my what I'm saying.
No, but that's the point.
But it kind of is, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the idea is like, look, if we understand collectively what your end result is your desired result, let's make it happen, and then let's bid you farewell and say, job well done, right?
Right.
That's great. So next question, Kent.
Okay.
You're a coach in the industry. You have a lot of tremendous coaches that work with the Institute, and you've been coached by a lot of amazing people as well. What is the best advice that you've ever received from a coach or a mentor?
Can I give you two?
Come on.
Okay. The first one is, that is just like you,
Okay.
and how powerful that can be.
Okay.
You're
Elaborate.
messing up, you're missing things, you're miscommunicating. That is just like you.
Okay.
Or you're always very supportive, you're very kind to everybody, and you're very knowledgeable. We're just happy to see you. That's just like you.
That is strong.
The way you show
I
up.
love that.
So that's one. And the other is that change, real change, comes through contribution and recognition.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's massively powerful, because if we're trying to speak to the opportunities for others and believe in them, we actually have to give them the space to make mistakes.
Yes.
So that they can gain that. And then we have to recognize the accomplishments for them and validate the effort. So if you can do those two things, you'll start to shift the experiences that your team has and that your clients have. Those experiences shift the beliefs about how they show up, which inform the actions they take and produce the results that you're ultimately looking for.
Kent, I gotta say, man, those are two of the best answers I've gotten to that question. I really appreciate you sharing that. It's no secret as to why the Institute is one of, if not the top coaching company in the companies in the industry. I'll ask if someone's listening and they're thinking, "Hey, I'm tired of hearing Josh's voice. I want to go get some coaching from Mr. Bullard and the rest of the team at the Institute." Where can we find you?
You can visit us at wearetheinstitute.com, and there's a ton of free resources on there to just get you started if that's where you're at. And you can always book a free consultation. We think that it's important to just get you started with some right choices.
Yeah.
And if it works for you, then we've got other things for you.
Awesome. Very good.
Josh, dude, thank you so much for having me here. I was so excited for this.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Hey.
And thank you for the mustache wax.
Yeah.
Keeping me sharp.
Yeah, hey, we try. Yeah, visit us at thebeardedbrotherhood.co to have an amazing mustache like my friend Kent here.
You will not regret it, everybody. You will not.
Kent, dude, thank you so much for being here, man. You were great. You came here. You dropped a lot of great nuggets, great takeaways. You brought the fire. Kent, that is just like you, man. Thank you so much, my friend. Dude, thanks
I love
again.
it, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
Appreciate you. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Limitless Leadership Podcast. As you know, every episode we do look to transform our leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results. So thanks again. Have a great day, everyone. Don't forget to smile today. Tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. I'm Josh Parnell, reminding you to keep leading well.